This is the big one, boys. This is the one that brings us back.
Have questions about AFN commercials?
Why do the same ones air all the time?
Why don't we see stateside commercials?
Get them answered by the experts.
This is impossible.
No, it's possible.
Call DSN 389-4595.
See? We're doing it.
Open line starts now.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of our AFN Open Line on AFN Infomercials. Commercials, spots, whatever you call them, people overseas have strong opinions on them. With us in the studio today, the man responsible for producing AFN spots that air DoD-wide, and that's Paul Waldrop, Dan Robinson, who produces messages for the audience in Europe, and the AFN Broadcast Center and California's Chief of Affiliate Relations, Larry Sichter. Larry Sichter represents the Broadcast Center, and what they do is promote spots and create spots that promote upcoming TV shows and programming changes. Now, Paul, you're also in theater, going to places in Germany and places in Italy, showing some folks some new spots that are coming to AFN TV and asking them what they think of them. But I understand that you're giving our entire audience, not just the few that are selected for these special focus groups, an opportunity to look at these spots and say what they think. How do they go see them? How do they give comments? Where do they go?
Easy, George. www.youtube.com/AFN spots. We brought 31 spots with us that have been uploaded, and we'd love to hear your comments. Just, tell us why you like them or why you don't. And the reason we're here, again, is to get feedback from the audience. We really want to hear from you. And it's all about how can we package command information more effectively and get that message to you in a way that is palatable.
Paul, Larry Sichter here. Can they comment right on the YouTube spot? YouTube
Absolutely,
site?
Yes. Right on the site itself. You can go there and you can write comments. You can say, yes, I like it, no, I don't, and tell us why.
You can call us and let us know what you think right now live. Larry Sichter, Paul Waldrop, Dan Robinson, all three of these experts are here in the studio this hour. They want to hear from you personally, and they want to hear exactly what you like or don't like about the spots and why you think the spot is effective or not. You can call DSN 389-4595 or from a civilian phone 011-49-621-4608-5595. Let us know what you think of AFN infomercials. And by the way, call and you could win something to listen to AFN podcasts on from AFIS, an iPad Nano, and a $50 iTunes gift certificate. Our second prize getting to appear in your very own AFN infomercial. Imagine the excitement when the family sees you on AFN TV.
Woohoo.
We have our first caller on the line for this hour, Leah from Freeburg. Hi, Leah. Your question. I'll see if our producer has her still on hold.
Actually...
Oh, Leah, there you are.
Yeah,
we got you.
I'm here. Okay. Two things. Little things, big things. Some of your infomercials are a bit out of date. I always giggle when I hear about frostbite in July, and those are the ones which usually come from California. I wish they'd monitor those, and I wish they'd also monitor some of the nice little spots that they put out that we get on AFN AM, because very often we have reruns.
Well, let me jump in and ask a question about that frostbite spot.
Yes.
Have you seen it on AFN TV recently?
No, I haven't. I can't get AFN TV here. I'm only listening to the radio, unfortunately.
Oh, so you're talking about AFN radio commercials
yes,
then?
I am.
Okay.
Yes,
Maybe that was the one that we did from McMurdo Ice Station in Antarctica.
Oh, that could very well be. I didn't think of that. I love that comment.
What frequency do you listen to?
873.
And, 873. So you're talking about a radio spot on frostbite, and it's June. Have you heard it recently?
Yes, not too long ago. And also there have been, in the dead of winter, there have been things about heat stroke, but I would assume, there are people who are in hotter climates, even in the winter when we're sitting here freezing. So that's okay.
Okay, well, those are good comments, and I'm going to make a call to the local AFN radio station that serves you, and we need to purge our inventory.
Sounds like an automation problem to me, George.
Yeah.
And the other one is Outside the Gate. Big compliments for including that. It's a really good spot. make sure that the announcers can pronounce all of the names that they're telling us about.
Right. Now, do
And
you
it
listen to
rehearse that a
AFN
little
Bavaria, Leah?
No, I listen to AFN. It used to be AFN Hessen. I don't know what that is now.
It's called AFN Wiesbaden now.
Okay.
So that's the station. So you've heard some mispronunciations?
Oh, yes. Quite a few. And, people do listen to us, and I'm very proud of the fact that we have AFN. I've been an expat over here for nearly 40 years, and I've been an AFN enthusiast. And I get very, very proud and very happy when people give us compliments, and I get very sad when people say, oh, those Americans don't know how to pronounce anything.
Well, that's good feedback, and we'll share this with all of our announcers. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for the wonderful programming. You give us a bit of home away from home.
Great. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Up until a couple weeks ago, those frostbite spots were applicable.
I hear we just snapped the weather by coming from California. We brought some good stuff with us.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Back to some emailed questions here. And this one is from Stuttgart, Germany. And this person says, I'd like to reiterate what a caller just said. I only heard the end. About not showing violent sexual harassment commercials during family-friendly shows. I have a 12, 10, 8, and 5-year-old, and I'm continually surprised by some of the commercials they show which are highly inappropriate for children to see. Any commercials dealing with drugs, alcohol, depression, and sexual harassment are not commercials I want my children to see. We love to watch American Idol, America's Got Talent, and The Amazing Race together as a family, and because these shows are typically on at 7 p.m. Central European Time, by the way, they're exposed to these commercials. Please look into this, as I know other moms share this view with me. And this is from Harriet Johnson.
Larry Sichter here from the Broadcast Center. I'll defer to Paul somewhat, but I've got to say that a show that appears in prime time is when the most people are watching and we have the most opportunity of getting the messages out. Paul, what about putting those type of spots in a show that we know younger people are watching?
Well, I guess we have to readdress the subject that we talked about earlier, and that's as we get later in the day, it's teen heavy, and I mean it is 7 o'clock, but that's a cusp there where you've got a younger audience and you're going into an older audience. Maybe we could look at taking the teen avails where you would get some of the harder topics later in the evening.
But I think we're showing those programs on Spectrum. This isn't family. This is if it's Idol, it's on Spectrum, I believe.
Okay.
So I hear what the audience is saying on that one, that, it's a tough call. We got the same thing during a football game. We're getting some complaints that we're showing explicit spots in a football game when young families are watching football games together. And, part of it is a demographic watching football game. We know we're hitting the 18 to 24-year-old male. We know they're watching the show, so there's appropriate spots for them. But we're also aware that there are younger people watching it because some people watch families.
I guess I would say, Harriet, we will look into it and see if there's something that we can address here. And not to seem callous, but one of the issues is that AFN exists for service members, and although we're certainly want to be aware of the families that are serving with their service members, the primary audience is the service member, and that's where the command information is primarily directed, and so sometimes it may seem a little strong.
We do put ratings on the programs that we broadcast. So if there is we advise the audience as to what the content of the program is with the TV rating. So we advise people to monitor that as well. So make sure that we've got the right audience in front of the TV for the appropriate program.
We've got several emailed questions asking about the World Cup. We're going to have that answer shortly. But first, here's one that's for you, Dan Robinson, Chief of AFN Europe Command Information. Are you going to have the public submit Super Bowl spots again this year? That's the You Do It campaign.
Absolutely. We had 151 entries last year, we were able to air the majority of them, and there were some good spots in there. There's a few in rotation right now that we've held on to. Obviously, most of them were geared towards the Super Bowl and football season, so they were short-lived. But we had a lot of fun doing that, and by all means, we will do it again this year, and hopefully keep a few more of those in our inventory for a while.
So how many spots have you included in the inventory from the past campaign? Have you done any of that, Dan?
Right now we have 4 that are airing. We had a couple other ones earlier, but I've since taken those up. We do still have 4 that are on.
And why didn't you put more into the inventory from the Super Bowl?
As I said, most of them were timely to the event itself, or football, very football-oriented. And some of them, quite honestly, didn't make the production standard. We actually sat and screened all the entries, decided which ones we would go ahead and put on TV, and the rest of them we put up on the website. So all of them were available where they could be seen, but I'd say about just under half actually made it on air.
Good. Larry?
I just want to let everybody know that this year for the Army-Navy game, the AFN Broadcast Center is going to be inviting people to create a spirit spots. So now's the time to begin working on those spirit spots. Go Army, beat Navy, go Navy, beat Army. Where's the Air Force? And get those to the Broadcast Center. And details will be posted on myafn.net about that. And I also want to say briefly that we're starting Fan Night on AFN from the Broadcast Center starting July 16th. Viewers watching the Friday night Major League Baseball game of the week will be able to vote on which game they get to see. During the week, we'll be putting up a list of the games that are available to us coming up on Friday, and fans will be able to come to the website and vote for their game, and that the one who wins the most votes will be in the air that Friday. So this starts on July 16th.
Back to the phone lines. Joseph from Parmesan's on the line with a question about the essence of AFN. Hi, Joseph.
Hi, how we doing?
Good. You have a question about money.
Right. Okay, since there's no stateside commercials aired on AFN and there's no place, donations, where are you getting your funding from?
Okay, that's a question that Larry Sichter can answer. Larry?
We are congressional funded. It's the public that is paying the bills, and we greatly appreciate it. We're able to... We're wise custodians of the public's money. We're able to secure all our sports and news for free. We pay a small market fee for our primetime entertainment programming, and it's through the generosity of the distributors, the producers, the guilds, the unions in Hollywood that enable this all to happen. And part of the key is carrying those command information announcements. If we were commercial, we wouldn't get the programming, and AFN wouldn't exist. Being non-commercial, we can bring you the best entertainment at touch of home and keep you informed.
And that's funded by who again?
You, sir.
You, sir, funding.
No, not you, sir. He said,
sir.
You, comma, sir, S-I-R. He's talking about the United States taxpayers.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
We're going to go back to the phone lines, but first a question that was emailed to us, and this one is, why is it there are such a limited number of informational spots related to spouses and availabilities with the support-focused programs such as Key Spouse, Project Care, and more? Most specifically, Spouses Support Network programs such as Key Spouse, a program under Airmen and Family Readiness Center, one of the most important programs for the Air Force and its families during deployment, or FRGs, Family Readiness Groups for the Army. So this one is, bottom line from Jessica is, I would like to see more spots focused on the spouse and using real spouses, using the real folks who are affected by deployment sharing valuable information. Dan, that sounds like something in your lane. Dan Robinson, Chief of AFN Europe Command Information. At least you can start off with it and see if Paul wants to jump in.
Most of the spots that I do here are client-driven. So I'll get a request for a spot, and then we'll go ahead and work what we can into production. We do have a few family/ACS kind of spots on the air right now, but we have had no specific requests of late to do new ones. But by all means, I can look into that. I'm more than happy to.
And I can do the same. Paul Waldrop here from Washington. We certainly have some Air Force-wide spots on family readiness programs on the air, but we might not be hitting them all, and we're happy to look into that to see if we can give better coverage.
Sure. If there's programs we're unaware of, put us in the know and
that's
see what we can do.
Send us an email. For me, it's rtpo-hq@dma.mil. and let us know, and we'll take a look.
If you have a question for our experts in the studio this morning, call us 389-4595 from a civilian phone 01149-0621-4608-5595. If you're calling from within Germany, it's 0621-4608-5595. Back to the phone lines, Tony from Wiesbaden.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I just have a couple of questions I need to ask.
Please, go ahead.
One concerns the radio station, and that's pretty much, I guess, your AM band, and it just seems to be dominated by country. And if not country, then it's not, I think, reflective of everybody that's serving in our forces. But country is like all day, every day.
Tony, let me jump in. Are you listening to 873 AM or 90? What station are you referring to? Or 98.7?
873, mostly AM stations.
When do you listen?
Pretty much all day. You know, I like to catch the educational programs and stuff on NPR programs and that. But when I'm trying to find some other types of music or something, it all seems to be geared around country. And that's when I'm working at night at 1 in the morning, it's country all night. And I don't know whether you've had some kind of contest to see who listens to music more, country listeners or contemporary music listeners, but it's just too much country.
Well, I suggest you listen to 98.7 in your area, because you'll hear very little country on 98.7, and it's a mix of music called AFN the Eagle. Have you listened to 98.7 in your area?
I do listen to 98.7 at times also.
And
but
do you hear a lot of country then?
No, not on 98.7. Okay. But like I said, I love the AM band because it's where I get my NPR, you know.
Do you have a decoder?
Yes, I do.
Have you can get a full channel of NPR on your decoder.
Yes, I listen to it while I'm at home, okay, but I'm just talking about specifically in my car
okay.
Or when I'm listening to the radio at work.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Because what I was going to say is that as far as country goes, weekdays, Monday through Friday, I don't have my program schedule in front of me, but there's zero country that's on AFN Power Network from 6 in the morning till, about 10 at night. I know
8,
that for sure.
10, yeah.
So there's no country on at all then. But you're referring to country and overnights?
I think it's mostly all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and late at night. When I'm working late at night, it seems to be dominated by country. And I don't know, if most of your listeners want to hear that, I could understand. But, you know, my friends and I, we always wonder, okay, man, can we hear something else but country? I like a little country every now and then, but...
Well, we've started something brand new today on Power Network. It's beginning today, and it's some DJ shows that feature classic hit music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And you can listen to those shows. For example, there's one that airs from 3 to 8, and you can hear some classic hits by groups like Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, The Dramatics, Four Tops. If it was a hit in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, you'll hear it. And it's might be music that you're interested in, and that's a change that, like I say, just literally started today. And if you why don't you look over our schedule? It's there on afneurope.net, and it talks about the new changes that started just today. And I'd be curious if those changes are ones that you like and think are a move in the right direction.
Okay, then I will check that out today. I have one other question, though.
Yeah.
I listened about a few months ago, and they said that we're not going to go to full HD until 2014. I was trying to figure out why we would wait, 5 years to implement on AFN to go HD.
Well, Larry Sichter from the AFN Broadcast Center can give you a preview of HD and when it might be coming to the European theater.
Well, I think we're going to try to get it sooner. The reason it's going to take a while, though, is while we can broadcast it from California, the trouble is that the infrastructure that delivers it around the world has to be changed over as well, and a lot of our cable providers, which is the primary distribution of the signal, have to convert to HD, and that's a complete infrastructure change. So we're funding to have that happen. We are looking at seeing if we can expedite that schedule and get you an HD channel a lot sooner than that. Please watch my AFN.net for details on that. But we hear you. We know we have the decoders out there that are HD capable, and the question is being asked, why don't we have HD yet? We are working on it. We're working on a test channel right now. So I ask for your patience, and hopefully we can get this up sooner than 2014.
Thank you for calling us.
That's great. Thank you a whole lot for your information.
Thank you. We have two other folks that are on the line to talk with us. I want to go to some of our emailed questions first, though. I have 4 different emails asking about the World Cup. Larry, is AFN going to be broadcasting the World Cup?
We're very optimistic. We're in negotiations and have been for 2 years now to get the rights. You know, you see these statements when you have a police officer standing up on the screen and somebody asks him a question about the crime that just happened. He says, it's under investigation. We cannot comment on ongoing investigations. It's similar. We are in negotiation for the rights for the World Cup. We really can't comment on those negotiations. Just trust me, the AFN staff has been involved in this for 2 years to get these rights. We're very optimistic. The first the U.S. match against England is on the 12th. We have a little time yet, so let's keep our fingers crossed and let the negotiators do their thing.
Okay. Well, and if you can't answer this, I know you'll tell me you can't answer it, but I got to ask the question anyway. If we happen to get the rights to the World Cup, would we be getting just the games that involve the U.S., or would we be getting some games that involve more than just the U.S. team?
AFN Broadcast Center will have access to the entire schedule of 64 matches using domestic feeds from ESPN. We are going to carry games live. We're going to carry games tape delayed if the rights are granted to us. If those rights come, the broadcast will be limited to AFN Extra and AFN Sports, which are our closed circuit channels, which means they're not broadcast over the air. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that hopefully we can get those rights, and if they do come, we'll be able to have access to the entire schedule of World Cup games.
When you say access to, does that mean that we could air them all, or will, or again, can't comment?
If we get access to if we get permission to air the games from the rights holders, we will try to air every game, either live or tape delayed.
All 64.
If we can do it, yes.
Okay. Well,
we have other sports going on at the same time. We have, the U.S. Open is starting in golf. We just finished the French Open. We have some finals are winding up. I don't think the NBA might be still going on by then. So we have some other obligations, but we'll try to work the mix. And if we get the rights, then we'll get you as much World Cup action as we can get.
Larry Sichter, AFN Broadcast Center in California. Also with us in the studio this morning, Paul Waldrop, man responsible for producing AFN infomercials DoD-wide, and Dan Robinson. He's the man who produces messages for the audiences in Europe. Back to the phone lines, Shane with a question about spot quality control. Hi, Shane. How are you?
How are you doing this morning?
Good. Your question.
I first noticed this when I was in Iraq last year, and I know you guys have a tough job producing the various commercials. But we're sitting in the DFAC, and I hear these soldiers making fun of a commercial about a soldier putting on all of his PPE, but he has his finger on the trigger. Is there a senior enlisted advisor or a sergeant or major that views these commercials before you put them on the air?
Well, before I answer that, could you explain to me what's a PPE exactly?
Personal protective equipment.
Okay. That's a very good question. Let me turn to my colleague, Paul Waldrop, who does the DoD infomercials. Paul?
Yes, there are subject matter experts that are advisors on those types of spots, and I'm sorry I don't remember the specific spot you're referring to, and So I'm a little hesitant to comment, other than to say that we do have subject matter experts. We don't do these things in a vacuum, and we understand the importance of, being correct and following, doing it the Army way or the Marine way, so that we're getting the right information out. Can you be a little more specific about what the spot was, how it...
I remember seeing a soldier putting on his glasses, putting on another piece of equipment, his earplugs, and he was doing an IMT through smoke. And not only was he not standing correctly, but he had his finger on the trigger.
Okay.
And I want to say he didn't have gloves on, though.
Did you see this on the Freedom Channel, on Channel 26?
No, I couldn't tell you. It was on the DFAC when we stopped in at, I want to say Liberty.
Okay, so you saw this when you were deployed in Iraq.
Roger. And that's what made me bring notice to it. We're sitting there, and Joes talk, especially when they're bored. And so they start making fun of this commercial. I mean, my friend looked up, and we're like, oh, they're right. And then since then, I've been noticing it in different AFN commercials.
Okay, well, whenever you see something that's wrong like that, we want to hear from you. And what we can do is, if you're specific and tell us what exactly you saw and what's wrong, we'll fix it. And that's why we're asking you some of the specific questions. To answer your question, yes, AFN Europe is a military-run organization. My big boss is a colonel in the United States Army, and we have officers and senior enlisted folks in all parts of our organization. Here at AFN Europe, we have a command sergeant major. So I can assure you, we are a military-run and led organization, and all of us look at spots like that, and it's very, very important for us to get it right. And when we don't get it right, sometimes it slips through the cracks. It helps for us to hear from you.
Yeah, and Larry Sichter here, Shane. I would offer that if you can tell us when you see something like this happen, the date, the time, and the channel, because we have logger systems, we can immediately go back, grab the spot, get the house number, identify, and then get it to whoever the producer is and point out the error.
And the thing with us is, the reason why we ask the questions is that the commercials, the spots, the infomercials you see on AFN TV could come from the United States, they could come from Mannheim, they could come from Iraq. There's all sorts of folks that produce the products you see on the AFN TV service. So sometimes we'll scratch our heads and go, I don't know what he's talking about.
Or where did this get produced? Perhaps the Pentagon channel. I mean, or the services, one of the services produced it and provided. So part of this is a detective deal. We have to track it down and figure out who produced it so we can get to that producer. So date, time, and channel is really, really important to find out if you see an error on a spot.
Yeah, and I understand. And it's easy for a group of senior NCOs to sit back and nitpick at every little uniform. Sometimes we have nothing better to do.
Hey, I've been there.
Soldiers are noticing it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You're right. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Right.
AFNEurope.net, use the feedback forum, or go to our Facebook page and let us know, and we'll try to find out what the deal is on it.
Yeah, Paul Waldrop here, and Dan and I can check with our compatriot too at AFN South, where they put in a lot of the spots that go into Iraq and Afghanistan, and just to see if it came from them.
It does sound like a Freedom Channel spot.
It does.
That's my gut reaction to it, but we can certainly track it down.
Okay. So, any other comments for us?
No, that was it. Just keep doing a good job.
We appreciate you calling.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Caller from Vilsec, Angela. She's been waiting for us. Angela, good morning. How are you?
Super.
Good. Can you speak up? I'm older and I can't hear so well.
Okay.
Your question.
My question is, I see the AFN commercial when it's advertising about Dodea.
Right.
And it keeps showing two different directors. So I wanted to know who's the actual director.
There's Shirley Miles is the Dodea director. She's back in the States, and she is the overseer of the worldwide program. But we also have spots with Nancy Brissell, who is Dodge Europe director. So that's the differential there.
Okay, so in the commercial, could it possibly be a differential in the title?
They are fonted as to what their titles are.
No, their titles both says director or Dodea.
Okay.
Guess we'll have to add U.S. or Europe in there.
Yeah, I'll look at both of those and see if there is an inaccuracy, and hopefully solve the problem.
Okay. Thank you. We'll check into that.
Thank you.
Few emailed questions. I'm going to try and give these to you quickly because I have 9 of them, and I don't know if we have time to get through them all. So, first one, a programming question for Larry Sichter, AFN Broadcast Center, California. Why do you air and re-air and rerun the same programs over and over on Sunday? I can understand showing the same programs from Friday night on Sunday, but you show the same program 3 or 4 times a day, like American Choppers was the same episode on the 6th of June as it was a week prior to that. And why don't you show NCIS over on Sunday like you do Undercover Boss? For example, on Friday you had Undercover Boss on, and it was about 7-Eleven store's CEO, but on Sunday it was about Hooters boss. And so in general, the question is, why do you repeat some shows and other shows you don't?
Well, all I can say is I've got your email address here, and I'm going to have to research that. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. It's going to take us looking back and seeing what the schedule was. So I will write you, and we'll investigate this when I get back.
Another question. Almost all of the anti-sexual assault commercials specify assault against a fellow service member is wrong. How about changing that to assault against anyone, anytime, anywhere is wrong, not just against service members? So, comments on this one? I'm reading it directly from the email. That the way I'd sum it up is they're saying, hey, some of your sexual assault spots say that sexual assault against service members are wrong, but they're saying, hey, sexual assault against anybody is wrong, whether they're a service member, a civilian, or whomever.
Well, I would certainly, this is Paul Waldrop from Washington, and I certainly agree that assault against anybody is wrong. I think the intent there is because our audience is a military audience, and that, to think about, and because we have men and women in the service, that to respect each other and to treat each other as human beings, and to not diss somebody or assault a fellow service member. But I totally agree that sexual assault is wrong.
It's everybody's problem. Yeah. We have 2 more folks online. I'm going to go to one more emailed question before we go to our phone lines. This one is from Tom, and this is for you, Dan. Perhaps you can explain how AFN Europe works with other commands to ensure CI needs are met Europe-wide. Challenges with prioritizing requests, the volume of requests you get, what generally prioritizes one request over another. And this is a specific AFN Europe question for you, Dan.
All right. Well, every 6 months, we'll get our primary clients together, USER, USAFE, MAR4 year, on down the line. All of our big clients will get together in one room, and we'll spend a day hashing out our calendar and deciding what each command's priorities are and when they want those to get out, so we can plan ahead a little bit. A couple of the commands, like USER and USAFE, have their own production people. So they will produce messages for us and submit them, and we'll screen them and then generally put them on the air. Each command decides what their priority messages are. Then we take their cue from them.
Thank you, Dan. Dan Robinson, Chief AFN Europe Command Information. Back to the phones. Why is there a limited number of TV channels? And I'm seeing here, not on the phone, says my producer, so they jumped off. But the question, and you can answer that one, Larry, is why is there a limited number of TV channels, and why are we airing old or older TV shows?
Unfortunately, we have limited amount of funding. So we have satellite bandwidth is the issue. We would love to broadcast more channels. Back in the day, we had 1 channel. We're up to 8 distinct AFN services now. Hopefully, as technology changes and we can compress the signal even more, we could broaden the number of channels. Regarding older shows, syndicated television is a part of the U.S. television mix. Syndicated shows have extreme popularity among a lot of the audience. So we reflect stateside television, and we'll bring a mix of what's current as well as what's the most popular in syndicated television.
Next up, we have a caller from the Kaiserslautern military community, and this is a question about a specific spot, more a comment.
My name is Angel Arnold, and my favorite AFN commercial is the one with the father and the daughter. They're sitting in the kitchen, and he's talking about moving, and her emotion just says it all, because she's like, what? We're moving again? This is the worst day of my life. And she gets all excited because then she's thinking about all the things she can do, new room. She's dancing at the end. Whatever I'm doing, if they play that commercial, I literally stop what I'm doing to watch it. That is one of the best AFN commercials.
Paul Waldrop, did you pay her to call in?
You know, I should have. I didn't, but I should have. And that was a very accurate portrayal. She got
it memorized.
Yes.
I love it. The new room dance. I do it. New room.
Yeah, and everybody knows that. That's one that really, hit the nail on the head, and we get a lot of positive feedback on this spot.
Next, a caller from Belgium.
Hi, this is Gina. I listen in Shape, Belgium, and I just wanted to say that I love the AFN spot with the vampire and the blood donation. I think it's a great spot, and I laugh every time I see it.
Well, that's an interesting comment. To me, I don't know, a vampire might scare me away from giving blood if I thought he would be there. But is that a spot from you, Paul?
It is, and thank you for the positive feedback.
The old Nosferatu approach.
Good evening.
We have another call. This is from a viewer in Italy.
Hi, my name is Anna from Sigonella. My favorite AFN TV spot is the H1N1 toothbrush spot because it shows how easily germs can spread.
Who produced that one, guys? Are you familiar with it?
I believe that one's yours, Paul. I've seen it.
The H1N1, is this Chicken Knows Best?
I'm not sure. This one was recorded, and the caller's no longer on the line, so she can't give us any more details on it.
We have a couple of spots about flu with a character that is a chicken.
Is that the chicken with the helmet?
And in one of them, he is wearing a helmet, but Chicken Knows Best, and so thank you for that.
Well, let me dive in here. I know Paul's not going to he's not going to mention it, but I will. We just won some Emmys, right, Paul?
Yes.
Emmys or something else?
No. Actually, we have an in-house production team that works with us at headquarters in Washington, D.C. that produce a lot of the spots, and the H1N1 spots fall under their purview. And anyway, the regional Emmys took place Saturday night in Washington, D.C., and we were lucky enough to win 7. So we're
Emmy award-winning spots now on AFN.
Oh, great. So certainly a strong indicator there's some quality spots on AFN.
Yes.
We have a viewer from Heidelberg with a vote on her favorite and least favorite AFN TV spot.
Hi, this is Myra. My favorite AFN commercial is the one where the dog is sitting there and they say, "He wouldn't abandon you, please don't abandon him." And my least favorite AFN commercial is where the parent isn't paying attention to her little girl, and the little girl goes out the door, and then the MPs bring her back.
Okay, I think that dog spot is probably your spot, is it not, Dan Robbins?
My dog. His name is Sydney. He's an Australian Shepherd Border Collie mix. There was actually a lot of interest in approaching spots like that because we do have a bad reputation as far as pet abandonment and pet issues. And right about the time I came up with those concepts, ERMC, Europe Region Medical Command, requested some spots. So I went ahead and produced those, and we've gotten very positive feedback on those.
So you say when we have a bad record, you're not talking about the Robinson family?
Yeah. We're pretty good, actually.
Okay, good.
Now, how about that least favorite spot she mentioned? Are any of you familiar with that one?
Not ringing a bell.
No, I'm not sure which one that is.
It could be a local spot, too.
Okay. We have a caller from Italy next on this AFN Open Line on AFN Infomercials.
Hi, this is Jason, and my least favorite spot is that lame buckle-up commercial where they're gliding through the woods and then he buckles himself in the ambulance. I mean, seriously, what's that all about?
Okay, I don't know that spot. Do any of you?
That's not ringing a bell with me. This is Paul Waldrop from Washington.
We're all going the same thing. Hey, that's a lame spot. What's that all about? Not sure where that one came from.
Maybe we mentally blocked it out.
it could be. We have John on the line from Kaiserslautern. Hi, John. And what is your comment for our experts, John?
I want to ask about some of the ads that you have on TV that are not command information but seem to come from different sources. I'm thinking in particular the one you show with the kids playing basketball, the one where the new kid in school's been snubbed by a group of girls, and then also the state capitals, and which I think are very good, or just different cities from around the world where you give a little brief description or ask some questions about them, and the viewer has to guess where exactly they are.
Right.
Where do those ads come from, and is there a possibility of getting more of them?
The city quizzes and state quizzes that you're referring to are produced by my office out of Washington, and we are in the process of producing new ones as we speak. So yes, there is a possibility of getting more. One of the other spots that you mentioned, in addition to producing spots, we also work with the Ad Council to get PSAs that air in the United States that we also feel apply to our military audience, and that's probably where the other spot came from that you referred to.
And the Ad Council, then, that's a government group, a privately run group, or?
The Ad Council is an organization that produces public service announcements for a variety of clients around the country. Some the ones that we try to get are the ones that are would apply to our audience, whether they're it's on voting or motorcycle safety or drinking and driving, whatever the topic. But they do some very good work, and so we add those to our inventory.
Yes, I think most of those are well produced and they're very good ads. I'd like to see more of those.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your feedback.
Right.
We have just about, a little under 15 minutes left in the program. And Larry, we made a promise we want to keep it. There's some new programs that are going to be coming to AFN TV in the coming months. Spectrum Late Night, talk to it.
August 7th, the AFN Broadcast Center is going to be bringing the best programming from the premium cable channels in the States, original TV, mature versions, starting at 2200 Central European Time. Saturdays, we're going to start with Treme, the new HBO series about post-Katrina New Orleans, followed by Big Love, followed by True Blood, and then on Sundays, we'll continue on with Real Time with Bill Maher, but this will be uncut, followed by Entourage, Hung, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, starting August 7th on Spectrum. Late night premium programming coming to AFN.
Are we going to target some of the vampire blood drive spots in True Blood?
That would be appropriate. We can make that work. But HBO doesn't have commercials inside the spots, inside the shows, so we have to do it between.
So
HBO's True Blood is an HBO program.
So all these programs are going to be relatively commercial-free, completely
if
commercial-free?
they're from HBO, they have no spots within them.
Wow, so that's big. When and why did AFN decide to put programs like this on TV?
Our audience is changing, and we think it's time to bring some adult programming to our adult audience. So we had very good results with HBO's The Pacific. The viewer feedback was very positive, and we're taking this as an opportunity to broaden the schedule and to show some late night programming at late night. And let me remind the audience, it will only be at late night. You won't be able to see this at any other day part.
Two more folks on the phone. I'm going to go to them right after this question that was emailed into us. The primary task I think we should all appreciate is to limit how many months a message airs. For more than 5 years, we were forced to hear the same tired Stars and Stripes newspaper ad. Should have retired it years earlier. So, I don't know. Did that spot air theater-wide? Was it a DoD-wide spot? But I think we can talk to it and just say simply, Dan Robinson, when do you kill spots from AFN Europe? How long does a spot air on AFN Europe before you say goodbye?
The very oldest spots that we have on now, there's only a couple of them date from late 2008. When I became Chief of Command Information, one of the first things I did was screen all of our inventory, and I purged about 60 spots. So I got rid of all the old stuff and stuff that just didn't make the production standard. But the oldest spots that we're airing regionally are about 20 months.
Okay, Paul Waldrop?
They're definitely talking about my spots. Many of the spots that we produce out of Washington have a shelf life of up to 5 years to make them cost effective. But that said, we can look at airing them either more sparingly or airing them for a period of time and then taking them off the air and then bringing them back. And that's one of the things that we are looking at as we move forward is to how to make the spots cost effective without oversaturation or over-airing. We realize that is an issue that we need to address.
Back to the phone lines. Joel from Ramstein has been patiently waiting. Hello, Joel. I understand you have a question about our AFN Europe Power Network radio schedule.
Yes, sir, I do. I'm looking at the new schedule, and it seems like a lot of the NPR programs have been taken off. The Fresh Air and also the Talk of the Nation. I was wondering how that decision was made.
Okay, well, you are correct in that Fresh Air is effective tonight, not going to be airing from 8 until 9. And there still is a lot of NPR programming on AFN Europe. As a matter of fact, All Things Considered and other NPR programs are still airing. Fresh Air is not. The way the decision was made was there was a survey that was done in 2009 where we asked our audience what they thought, what they wanted, and that was one way that the staff decided to make the change. And another thing, a very important thing, is with our NPR programming, there are not many breaks for commercials or infomercials in them, and that was another reason why that particular program was chosen not to go on the air. There's more details at afneurope.net. There's a little article there. But it sounds like, that doesn't sound like, you don't like that and you don't like the program to be replaced, correct?
No, sir. I enjoy the NPR programs a lot. So.
Do you have a decoder?
Yes, I do.
Do you know that there's a 24/7 NPR station where you can hook that up to your TV or radio and you can listen to NPR 24 hours a day if you wish when you're at home?
I guess I'll find that out once I get home today.
NPR Worldwide, 24/7, carried as one of our satellite channels coming from Los Angeles.
Yeah, so that is a great opportunity where we hate to lose you on AFN's Power Network, but if you want to listen to NPR all day, all the time, that's a choice if you got a decoder.
And that satellite channel guide is on afneurope.net. You can go there and we have a little tab. You can click right on it and show you where all the channels are and what they play.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Running out of time in this show. Kathy from Wiesbaden's on the line. Kathy, how are you?
Hi. I just want to tell you my favorite ads are the ones about the capitals in the states. And I'm kind of a nerd, and I've been keeping track of all the capitals and all the states that you have been showing. And I've been doing this for about 2 years now. And I don't watch TV all the time, but I can't seem to get about 3 or 4 of them. Don't seem to see it. And I wonder if you know that you have actually run one on every state capital in every state.
Well, I can tell you that we do have one on each state.
Okay.
And so whether, and they are airing in a rotation that, would allow all of them to air.
Okay.
So they are all out there.
Just got to watch more TV, Kathy.
Pardon me?
You have to watch more TV, Kathy.
Oh, God. Okay, and I also enjoy the ones about the countries. How many country ones would you say you have? Because I seem to get a different one every day, and that's great because we love to travel.
Kathy, I don't know the exact number in the inventory right now, but I know that the country spots and the state and city quiz spots are very popular. People really like learning tidbits of information about a particular city or state or country, and so we'll keep that up.
Okay, do you put them on Channel 9, whatever? I don't know what that's called, the one that's more for kids.
Oh, you're talking the Family Channel?
During the daytime, Larry Sichter here from the Broadcast Center, we limit the amount of spot load during the day from 6 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon because the target audience is preschoolers. But once they start getting home, we'll start putting some of those spots in. So you are getting some on family between 3 o'clock and about 7 o'clock, but not as many.
Right. No, family, that's it. Do they tend to run more on the family at night?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought they did. And on the weekends even. I thought I saw more of them on the Family Channel. Okay.
Very good. Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, we have something special in this edition of AFN Europe's Open Line on Infomercials. We're giving a lucky person a chance to listen to our podcasts on an iPad Nano. And there's an iTunes gift certificate for $50 courtesy of AFIS. The PX folks have donated an iPad Nano to one lucky person with a $50 gift certificate. And the person who has won, it was just a drawing for this, Angela Cooley. So, Angela, if you are a U.S. ID card holder, you have won a Nano. And congratulations for that. We're going to call you. And again, we have to verify that you are indeed a U.S. ID card holder since folks are calling in. That's the critical thing. And the person who's going to be in the AFN Europe infomercial is Sergeant Joseph Dryden. Congratulations to you. So those are our two winners. Paul Waldrop drew them from a box. Congratulations. And right now the lines to the show are closed. We have about 10 other emails that we have not answered, and we're going to try our best to answer all of those. And if you did not have your question answered in the show today, you can give us an email at afneurope.net. Go to the top of our website, and there's a little box there that says feedback. That's one way to do it. Larry Sichter, if they want to ask questions of the AFN Broadcast Center, how do they do it?
They go to myafn.net and do the Contact Us button. We answer every email we get. So please send us your questions and comments about television and radio.
Good. And for you, Paul Waldrop, how do they let you know about spots?
Two ways. They can send an email to Larry, and and he'll send it to me, or you can send your email to rtpo-hq@dma.mil. That's rtpo-hq@dma.mil.
And again, congratulations to Angela Cooley, who won that iPod Nano and the $50 iTunes gift certificate from AFIS.
Was that Angela in Vilsec?
I don't have on the piece of paper where she's from. I have a phone number and I have a name.
Okay.
And Sergeant Joseph Dryden is the one who will be in an AFN infomercial, and I think he put a note down here, I really want to be in a spot with Larry Sichter.
Oh, I don't do TV anymore.
A few quick comments here from some of our folks. Here's one that says, thanks for the state and country spots. They were very good. My son and I see who can get it right first. We have both learned so much. Lots of fun. Can't wait until my other children get older so they can all try it out. I'm writing about the guy who called and said there's too much country. I like country, but you can do it all at once. Just mix it in with the regular music. And it says those people need to have a conversation with their kids about topics. Depression affects so many people, they can't hide it from their kids. They need to let their kids be exposed to it. It's the only way they will learn. Joy in Ramstein. And regarding AFN sexual harassment spots, who is your target audience? Victims? Perpetrators? Both? What means or metrics do you have in place to determine the effectiveness of these spots? Last question, guys. How do you determine if these sexual harassment spots are working? How do you figure that out?
Number of assaults. I mean, if numbers are down, then we're doing our jobs, and they are applicable to across the board to everybody. So,
and that's critical when you do these messages. You circle back with the clients and ask, is the message working? Or are we achieving your objectives?
As possible.
Yes. I was here in October. We did the open line, and we were in Spangdahlem. The base commander had a campaign going on about reducing accidents and vehicle safety, and had actually given the base a day off because of the success rate, which he in part attributed to the success of the AFN spots. So we do get feedback from the clients that we serve, whether the spots are working.
Okay, good comments. And then, Paul, you and Larry are in town, and why are you here? It's not just to do this show.
It's not? Oh.
I mean, this is the highlight of your visit.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, Larry and I are here to conduct focus groups and to really get feedback from the audience. That's why we're here.
You've been listening to a live AFN Europe open line on infomercials. You've heard the way the military communicates key messages to you. And since those messages are non-commercial, the entertainment industry donates live sports and shows to the U.S. military for free, or a minor processing cost out of appreciation and patriotism. I'm George Smith. My guest today, Paul Waldrop, man responsible for producing AFN spots that air DoD-wide, Dan Robinson, who produces messages for the audience in Europe, and the AFN Broadcast Center's Chief of Affiliate Relations, Larry Sichter. Have a good one. News next on AFN Europe.